Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So for the past few years, I've had some very serious false allegations spread about me, especially recently from a person named Tomb Raider. Due to these false allegations, this has led my reputation to take a big hit while also losing some of my closest friends. I wasn't planning on making a response video for two reasons specifically. One, I was afraid that if I made a response to their video while including their video in the video, that they would falsely copyright strike me even though the video is fair use. My second reason is because I didn't believe that someone could actually fall for those false allegations, and more importantly, I feel that YouTube is very strict when it comes to this topic. Because of this, most of the words will be blurred in order for this video to stay within the guidelines. A person named Excitable, who has over 50,000 subscribers, eventually ended up believing the false allegations and leading for me to get banned from his server while also banning Flicks because he was also defending me. So this will be my full response to the allegations, and after this video I hope that we can all move on from this as I've been trying to. This part is kind of funny to me because Excitable mentions that I've falsely terminated accounts, even though the accounts that were terminated never even stated the reason for their ban. So I'll give you some context to understand. A bunch of people made false allegations and ended up harassing me and my friends with alt accounts that they've created on YouTube. These weren't just critical comments, these were comments accusing me of being someone that I'm not, while also defaming me completely. I can show a few examples here that haven't been taken down due to their accounts still being up. However, I can't show the accounts that got banned because their channel is taken down, meaning their comments and videos are deleted. Also, about the Twitter report I made for YouTube, it's been months since I've sent that report, and their accounts were never banned from my report at all. Even if they were, it would still be within my right, considering that they were breaking the guidelines for YouTube. Next point I want to make about a person named Kifler, he claimed that I've gotten him false banned due to him beating me in a 1v1, even though it was for an actual different reason. And I also have proof to back this up. As you can see, he makes a community post showing his termination, which also includes a username. This alt account was specifically used to target me and harass others. And last time I checked, that isn't allowed on YouTube whatsoever.
Content or behavior intended to harass, threaten, or bully others is not allowed on YouTube.
He also never beat me in the 1v1 fairly, considering that I was AFK for most of the match, but that doesn't really matter. I've been accused of multiple, and I wanted to address all of that, debunking everything. First, they try to show quote-unquote evidence, and the reason I say quote is because this really isn't evidence. First of all these details can simply be added by creating an account. You don't have to actually live there or have the same birthday when you can input all the details in. This should be common sense, especially when creating an account. This Bitmoji can simply be added by uploading one of my images. They can do this by taking a screenshot of me, whether it is from a video or a stream. The profile picture is literally the same image taken from this video back in my Turkey vlog. Why would I go to a video, take a screenshot of my face just to use that as my profile picture? Wouldn't I just use one that is from my camera roll? It's obvious that the Snapchat account is fake. Same with all these other ones that accuse me of being a supporter. This screenshot is either AI or taken out of context from an IRL stream when I was trying to grab something. Same with all these other ones. All they did is take a picture of my face while adding a fake Snapchat caption over it. Just like the Dream Situation on Twitter, where they've made parody accounts adding fake captions on Twitter posts. Now I want to go over the Discord screenshots and video recording. I'm being accused of talking inappropriately with a person named Lexi. Now, let me explain. I've had this person in my DM requests talk to me. However, I never accepted their DM request whatsoever. I can include the proof right here. Next thing you're wondering is, how can it not be you? They showed evidence of it being your account. However, there's one small detail that you missed. So, what they have done is they made a false impersonation account of me, while Lexi is just another alt account, probably some random dude like Tomb Raider, and they ended up DMing my actual account while also DMing the impersonation account at the same time to make it look like it was a real interaction. Notice how in the video they only show video evidence after the messages were suddenly deleted, quote unquote. That's because they are showing the chat logs of her talking to me without even responding once. I know, it's complicated. However, I also have evidence. Notice how the message that says I'm only is in two separate messages. In the video evidence that they supposedly show, it is now in a singular message during the video recording. See where I'm going with this? They ended up messing up to fake that evidence against me. It's ironic, I know. Now, I hope that is clear for now, and also here's my conversation with Lexi. Kind of funny how they've also deleted their messages too. I mean, I think that says enough realistically. I mean, I never even messaged this person, so yeah, that's all that. This one is going to be very short. Some people compare me to Potemer or claim I defended Potemer when that is nowhere the case. Potemer had an actual victim, whereas I didn't. I also never defended Potemer, and here's my comment to prove it. I only wrote this during the time when there wasn't much information about him, and I even made a few edits during that time. I'm usually neutral with every situation at first because I feel like it is important to listen to both sides before jumping to conclusions. However, Excitable never ever bothered to even talk to me about it, when most of the others all know this is bullshit. I'm gonna make this very clear. The first audio that they show was simply AI. I used an AI tool to test to see whether the audio was real or not, and this ended up being fake. Not really a good look, huh? The other audio was taken out of context back in 2022 when I was reading a creepy Reddit story about some guy who had... and they ended up only taking out the parts and include the ones that were convenient for them. This was done by my own friends, and I still have the original clip. Some parts will be bleeped out, but you can easily see how out of context it is with the cuts. Oh god, here we go again. First of all, I believe it is very foolish to claim I've done something simply for saying I have, considering that I've been dealing with OCD for more than 3 years. Clinically diagnosed, by the way. It would be absolutely unfair to use my false OCD confession against me. And in certain parts, you can also see that I'm not only confused, but also really scared. There are many parts where I don't know much information, hence me saying I don't know many times. I didn't even know the character, never even mentioned it at all. That is how much little information I had. You'd think that if I knew their age, I would also know the character, right? Well, this is what OCD does sometimes, is it takes a completely innocent situation to turn it into something far worse and far more evil. If you were to ask me to prove that this never happened, that would be straight up impossible. So the only thing I can realistically do is explain some of the inconsistencies in my quote-unquote admission, while also explaining my condition. I don't know whether this actually happened or not, so it will stay unknown forever. However, for me personally, looking back at it now, I personally believe it didn't. Whether people want to believe it or not, that's up to them. However, I'm not a dangerous person that others claim me to be. I've always been cautious when it came to ages. Heck, here even is a few screenshots I have of me instantly shutting down the conversation once realizing that they are way too young to be friends with me. So even if this was true, which is highly unlikely, I would need to get help, not get blasted from the internet. I even told her afterwards on how I believe this could have been a false memory, but she never included that in, and also twisted my community post to fit her own narrative that I've lied about it. There were many instances of me having POCD related symptoms, like being in Turkey for example, when Unpredictable FPS got exposed, who was known to be one of my friends at the time. That really hurt and struck me down, and eventually I ended up receiving intrusive thoughts, afraid whether I would be like him, simply for just being associated with him. I also believe that I actually was this type of person. I started having panic attacks, and I also have witnesses to prove that I've had similar instances of me admitting to something that I've never done. Here are the recordings. So I really hope this clears everything up about the Villynoir situation. I've been doing this for a long time. I was doing this even before the FPS situation, if you ask me why. I seriously don't know the answer, or at the very least, I'm unsure if it is true. However, what I do know is that after deleting messages that give me anxiety, I start to feel better, and that in itself is a compulsion. I also searched whether this was possible to happen with OCD, and it told me that it could. So there is nothing much to add on there. First, I just want to mention that Nadia was 16 at the time while I was 18. She was also turning 17 that year, which would turn this into less than a 2-year age gap. I ended up asking her a weird question on whether she would marry me or not. However, I was never ever to her. I've also asked for a face reveal picture, but that's besides the point. People have used this situation as proof that I am this sort of type of guy. However, a 2-year age gap alone wouldn't make me a nor. The age of consent in our country is 16, and for my country it is 14. Not only would it be legal for our age of consent, but considering that the age of consent is only for... it wouldn't matter anyway. This was an awkward situation of me playfully flirting with her, and she didn't like it. And I also understand why. I ended up apologizing to Nadia and Leah about the situation. Keep in mind, Leah it was 17 while I was 18, so. And I apologize to them for my weird behavior, both publicly and privately. However, we can all agree that this situation wasn't done with any bad intentions and nothing illegal ever happened. I do agree that I shouldn't have flirted with her. However, that does not make me an EDP, nor does it make me a... Also, the reason I asked if she was home alone was because she herself told me that she could only voice call with people when she was home alone, and she herself can confirm this. I also have the messages here. So yeah, that's all. Also, the TikTok response was taken out of context. Notice how it cuts off after me saying because? That's because they never gave me a chance to give my full-on explanation. What I said was that it is okay to date as long as it doesn't exceed over a 2-year age gap. And I've been saying this for a long time. Why would I make a response saying this without giving any extra clarity on what I'm saying? Like, the only reason I deleted the response was because I felt that it wasn't good enough in addressing everything about the situation. Now, I'm just gonna start off by saying this is true. However, dude, bro, just let me explain. Holy shit, all you legit do is just jump to Sorry about that. So basically, I've had a private Instagram account and I follow 2 to 3 accounts of adult content. When I say adult content, I mean 18 plus. No. However, they accuse me of watching when that in itself isn't true. I do admit that I had a really bad addiction, which is why I've been working on bettering myself. I was following those accounts for a while, and only recently I decided to unfollow them, considering that I didn't even watch their content whatsoever, and I felt that I did not need to follow those accounts anymore. So if people want to cancel me for viewing NSFW, then maybe you should cancel all the other people who end up going on the hub. This is my private business. I don't see how any of this matters or how it even makes me an EDP. So that's for that. To explain this quite frankly, all they did was inspect Element Paco's bio by adding the fake age in there just to throw salt in the wounds. If you go to his Twitter account, you will see that her age is not actually there. So not only did they lie about how old Paco was, but they literally elemented it. And Excitable never once took a second to check out any of this whatsoever. This situation is also true, however it requires more context. Me and Avyxl were arguing about something related to OCD. I ended up losing my cool due to him saying misinformation about OCD. Avyxl was also known to make false allegations about me in the past, which he also deleted. I do regret saying the R slur, I do regret the things that I've said to him. Although this wouldn't necessarily make me an EDP, it was still wrong. Me and Avyxl ended up apologizing to each other and moved on. We even did some 2v2s after in that stream. I just want to say that I'm extremely sorry for anyone that has been harassed because of the false allegations. I've had multiple friends DM me that they wouldn't want to be associated with me due to the harassment that they're receiving, while some even being because of it allegedly. So I've had to make this video. In conclusion, I followed a few NSFW accounts on a private, as in barely anyone knowing about it, Instagram account that was only adult content. I ended up saying some bad things to Avyxl that I've apologized for. I've apologized to Nadia and Leah for my weird behavior, and most importantly, I'm not an EDP nor... I'm sorry it took me this long to come out with this video. Also, not to mention, but I also have video evidence of a person named FD admitting to making false allegations. The reason why this is kind of relevant is because in the video itself, it contained those same audio clips that were used in the Tomb Raider video. I know I may have done a few mistakes, but I also am a human. I'm a human being. I've never done anything to specifically hurt anyone. I don't deserve all of this hate. I'm really sorry for the things that I have done, but I don't deserve false allegations to be spread about me that takes a toll on my mental health. I didn't want to talk about this because it generally worsens my mental health. However, I don't really have a choice. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But apart from that, I just want you guys to know I'm genuinely sorry, but I'm not a fucking EDP. So I hope that I made that very clear in this video. And apart from that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. All right, so I'm here with do you want to be anonymous, or do you want to or do you not mind?
Either way if you want. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna send you a clip of a fake voice clip going around that's taken out of context. So I'm gonna send it to you right now. This is the full audio clip, and you tell me if you believe it's taken out of context or not based on the recording itself.
You clearly said, like last time, you don't have a sister, correct?
Yeah, obviously I don't have a sister.
Yeah, I think this is kind of out of context, because you clearly said you don't have a sister, even though the video says that you have a sister. So yeah, you don't have a sister.
And you can also hear, like, in the video clip where I'm like, at the end I'm like, oh, you effing bitch, you know, like, that's so like the full story was basically I was like reading a story, and my friends were just clipping the convenient parts of me reading that story, and then after they said like, hey bro, we're gonna take this out of context, I got mad at them. So I was like, oh, you effing bitch, you, because I was like really mad that they were taking that out of context. And keep in mind, this was in 2022, and Excitable also believes this, hence why he also banned me for that same exact reason. But would you say that this entire, like, now that you've seen this entire out of context clip rather than just being the one audio clip instead, would you say that this is definitely taken out of context?
Pretty much, yeah. This is... Yeah, I don't even know what else to say, but this is really out of context.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate your input on the matter. It'll definitely help me out a lot. And yeah, is there also anything else you want to maybe like add on to, like anything you want to say for the video that other people should know?
Well, not at the moment, but I can just say, like, for one, you basically don't have a sister, so that is pretty much a full-on lie, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright, also I do have a question to ask you. During the live streams, would you say that there would always be like a lot of people like coming into the live streams to harass me, like call me all sorts of names, defame me, make up lies about me and stuff like that?
This is probably like the most hardest question, but as of now, as I heard from the live stream, they're just basically talking about like just exposing stuff, like saying that it's like all fake and stuff. And pretty much you've already shown me like what's been faked, and
exactly.
I don't really believe in those videos, and you have like responded so many times and people are still not believing it. Like,
yeah, Excitable also believes I never responded, but I did. The only reason I like deleted my responses is because I just didn't feel comfortable having those up, I guess you can say, because it also included like one of their videos in the video, and so I was afraid that they might like false copyright strike it or whatever. And I was also afraid that I didn't blur certain keywords or whatever. But in the older streams, like back then, like we're talking about like over a year ago, would you say that there was like a lot more alt accounts like harassing me when you came into my streams?
Yeah, there's like a lot of alt accounts, which is kind of very annoying to even try to like ban or kick. But times, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, I appreciate your input on this matter, and yeah, I guess that'll be it, right?
Yeah.
All right. You know the taken out of context clip when it's like.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll send you the full audio clip. Okay, like with like the video as well of where it happened, and you tell me if you think it looks taken out of context. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Wait, was that you saying that?
Yeah, it was me saying that. But the question is that like taken out of context? Is the question.
Well, I mean, they clearly cut something. What did you say?
So basically, the context of this, right, is like I was reading a weird like Reddit story to my friends that I found on Reddit, and it was about some weird guy doing something weird with his, and they basically just recorded the entire thing, and they took those convenient parts out, and took it out of context. So yeah, that's basically the whole context behind that voice audio.
So what do you want me to say then?
Like,
I mean,
in your opinion, like when you see the video, like, do you see like does it look out of context to you?
yeah, I mean, they just like chopped up the clip.
Yeah. How many cuts were there precisely?
Like I spotted 2 at least. You know, hold on, let me see it.
So would you say it looks out of context?
Yeah.
All right.
So like, are you like debunking this whole video?
Yeah, like this whole video, like all the 2 videos from Tomb Raider, but for this for this recording specifically, I'm debunking the voice clip thing. So yeah, so that's why I wanted to ask, like, is that okay if I put this in the video?
Yeah, sure.
And well, do you want to be anonymous, or do you not care?
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay, all right.
You can keep me.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, you don't need to blur my voice or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I would say, like, I don't know everything about this, but like that. I mean, obviously, I think the more serious stuff, to me, just like just reading some Reddit story and like chopping clips up to make you look bad.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, the whole point of this recording was to get your input on the video clip I sent. So, but yeah, you would definitely say it's out of context, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your input. I appreciate you for talking to me, and yeah, that's pretty cool. He ends up going over the Villynoir situation again, the Avyxl situation, the Instagram accounts, and also the OCD thing, which I'm also going to get into now. So first thing first, I'm not going to talk about the Villynoir situation because I already did in this video, and I don't want this video to be like 40 minutes long. So I've already explained what I need to explain. However, here are a few more screenshots of it telling me that this is most likely to be a OCD false confession based on the screenshots I sent of the, Villynoir conversation. And another thing that I also want to talk about is he talks about me apparently to mushrooms, apparently, which in itself sounds fucking ridiculous. But basically, they show an Instagram account of a person. I'm gonna blur it out just for, privacy reasons, but majority of their pictures are regularly like normal. It's just like face pictures or, pictures of, I don't even know what the pictures are, but it's just random ass pictures. And they happen to have one picture that they have made, and I did not notice this picture whatsoever. So basically, he's going off of the claim that because I follow the account, it apparently means that I myself to them, which is nowhere near the case whatsoever. Most of these accounts that I followed was from like a while ago that I don't even remember myself, and the only reason I ended up unfollowing them is because as you know, I'm not really that active on my Instagram account. So after seeing Tomb Raider's video, I was like, oh wow, cool. I was following these accounts. Wow, I guess I must have forgotten to unfollow them, so I ended up unfollowing them. I'm not trying to hide anything. I mean, I already knew that he took all the screenshots needed, so realistically I could care less. I mean, I don't mind explaining the context behind it, but like I said, he's trying to use this against me as if I'm trying to hide something, when in reality I'm completely open about what I was exactly following. However, the fact that this person is claiming that I was doing this type of shit to certain pictures when I didn't even know those pictures existed is crazy. I mean, I could literally be following a person because of a cool picture that they posted, and then I would just never ever check their account, right? And then eventually a few months later they end up posting the most content, or they end up posting some other horrible content that I never saw during the time when I followed them, because sometimes I don't check accounts and shit like that. And they end up exposing me for something that I didn't even know existed. So yeah, I mean, this claim is pretty bogus in my opinion. If you really want to believe that I'm the type of guy to do that, then all right, by all means, go ahead. But just because I follow an account does not mean that I specifically myself off to them. Like, it's just so fucking unhinged, bro. A second proof they go over is me following a Andy, I don't know how to even call this, bro. It's like a fucking like, it's an account, it's like a fan account of like a certain, I don't even know what it's called, bro. But basically I ended up following them. To be honest, I don't even remember me following this account either, but I checked their account and they claimed that I was following a cartoon image that was that's a lie. I ended up checking the character's age that they were talking about, and as you can see right here, the character's age is literally 20 years old. Not that it even matters, by the way, considering that I wasn't even myself off to these accounts anyway to begin with. So that in itself is, you know, pretty stupid. But yeah, I mean, this account does not involve any whatsoever. As you can see, they're adults. But apart from that, let's go over to the next account, because the next account is actually more interesting. First things first, I came across this account back in 2024, if I remember correctly, and I saw that they were posting 18+ anime and SFW content. Considering that I had a really bad addiction, and the claims that they are making is that they are apparently and content. However, there are a few issues with this statement itself. First of all, they never address the ages of the characters shown in the images, meaning that it isn't confirmed whether they are or not. Second of all, to randomly assume that I even saw these images when the majority of their content is and looks to be 18+ based is also pretty stupid within itself. And considering that the majority, and by majority I mean pretty much all of them, are 18+ content, it would make me assume that all of the content inside this account only concludes legal material. Also, there is no evidence of me even liking or seeing the supposed content that you're claiming for me to have seen to be bad even. Just because I follow an account doesn't necessarily mean that I view all the content or that I've seen all of the content. This mainly started from me just searching up anime and SFW, which included anime adult content only, and after that I ended up following them just to not really check their account again. I ended up asking some of my friends whether these images are illegal material or not. They ended up also telling me that it wasn't or whatsoever. Just because a character looks a certain way does not mean they are. And the fact that you claim that I've went out of my way to seek out this type of content is just completely wrong. If that were to be true, then there would be multiple instances of me following multiple accounts, not just one. So to conclude this situation, the content itself is adult based, as in not. There is no plausible evidence of me even seeing the alleged bad images or even liking them, and there's no plausible evidence of the images even being bad except for the character itself. And considering that anime in general can be very misleading, it's not really wise to claim that it's when there's no other evidence supporting that claim otherwise.
I'm not gonna lie though, you look very good and I think you're beautiful, you feel me? You from and I'm from London, you feel me? We can probably link up or like say what's up with each other, you feel me, type shit.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay, guess my age.
21? 20? 19? 18? God damn! The fuck is wrong with you, man?
So again, like I said, if I'm gonna get canceled for this, then you might as well cancel iShowSpeed. They claimed that I was apparently harassing Avyxl, which is just not true whatsoever. I mean, sure, we did argue, but that's not harassment. That's not what harassment is. If you want to know what harassment is, harassment would be making multiple alt accounts, going into my live streams, making lies about me, completely just not leaving me alone whatsoever. I mean, that is what harassment would be, and that's what you guys are exactly doing to me, yet I'm the one that's catching the hate for it. Another thing that I also want to make clear that they also talk about is they show an image of them talking to their so-called friend, right? Saying that, you know, since they have OCD, they're talking to their friend and saying, oh, wow, well, this is in itself isn't really, you know, he's probably just lying about his OCD, right? You know what's so ironic about this is that they're asking me to show a diagnosis of my OCD. However, the guy that claims he has OCD isn't showing a diagnosis of his OCD either. Do you see where the double standards are at? I mean, that is like the stupidest thing that someone can say. Hey man, prove that you have OCD. But you know, my friend that says he has OCD, right? Says he has OCD is saying that you're lying. So that means it's true. And second of all, that is such a stupid point to make. It's completely a possibility that people that have different types of OCD can misunderstand each other. Let's say, for example, right, I have, I don't know, like fucking, let's just say I have existential OCD, or not existential OCD, but let's say I have magic thinking OCD, right? Where it's basically where I say, hey, I gotta do this a couple times, you know, so that this doesn't happen, so that doesn't happen. And then you got a person, right, that has like contamination OCD, who has to clean things and stuff like that. And then the person with magical thinking OCD would be like, hey man, why are you cleaning for a long time? Like, that's just not normal, dude. And then they say it's because of my OCD, and they're like, what? Again, even people that have different types of themes of OCD can misunderstand other people with different types of themes of OCD. I think that's common sense. So yeah, just because you have OCD doesn't mean that you cannot misunderstand other people with OCD. That is a possibility, and that can happen, and that has happened firsthand before. Another thing that's also really stupid is the fact that you're asking me to prove that I have OCD, but you're not even telling your friend to prove he has OCD. So the double standards are crazy. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, most likely, right? Most likely, this is an alt account. You know why? Because the conversation itself is so fucking dumb. I mean, you say the most craziest shit, saying that I did all this crazy shit to him, and you're telling me that his response is just 2 letters? I don't believe that for a second, bro. I really don't. If I wanted to believe that shit, I would fucking go to Africa, bro. I would go to space and be like, hey man, the earth is actually fucking a sphere, because it is. But realistically, what you're doing is the most bullshit of bullshit I've ever seen, bro. You're rage baiting so fucking hard, and it's so funny because other people are actually falling for your shit. It's actually disgusting as fuck. So the fact that you're taking zero accountability, and keep in mind, you never even talked about the Snapchat thing being fake. Sure, you made a comment about it, but you never talked about it in your video, and you never talked about getting it wrong. And here's the thing, you claim to take accountability, but you don't. You're not taking accountability whatsoever. If you were taking accountability, you would have done way more research, which you didn't. And another thing that's also really stupid of you is the fucking mushroom thing. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? Like, what is this? You know, I'm convinced that what these people do is they look at other people's situation and then they try to lie about me being just like them. So like, you know how BonkieDoge got exposed for all this shit by Parlo and Guamgo and shit like that? Now they're trying to make up some random shit saying that I do this to that, which is just not true whatsoever. They take other people's situation and then place that on me. Same way with they used FPS's situation to boost their fucking, you know, allegations and shit. But if I'm being completely honest, bro, I'm tired of this shit, bro. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. I really don't. I've been dealing with this shit for over 2 years. All I realistically want to do is make content, all right? I don't want to be dealing with this any stupid shit. And Excitable and Asiany, I have a few words for you because I'm genuinely disappointed in the both of you, okay? One of you is completely making a joke about this, calling me Leet445, which is so fucked up. The fact that you're even treating this as a joke is so fucking disgusting, considering that the shit that I had to deal with because of these false allegations. And the fact that you believe it without even bothering to talk to me is sickening. It really goes to show that you never fucking had any respect or cared about me in the first place. You were just willing to leave me for something that wasn't true without giving me a chance to even explain myself. Shame on you, man. Shame on fucking you. All right. And Excitable, if you're gonna make this shit public, how about you first come into my DMs and talk to me in a voice chat? Because that's how it's meant to be handled. It's not about, hey man, this guy has to disprove himself, he has to make a video, I don't care, I'm just gonna make it public, I'm gonna ban him from my server, I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna say that he's done all this shit even though we never got to hear his side, and this could easily be fake, or this could be false information, or this could be taken out of context, and I'm just gonna talk about him on stream. You know, that is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard, you know, Excitable? And there's no way you can justify it. As much as you want to even say, hey, you were just trying to protect your community, you never had to make this public. You never had to rant about me on your stream. You never had to talk about this with other people trying to get me banned from Roblox Arsenal. It's so fucked up. And the fact that you never took a second to even listen to my side, realistically, I don't see you as a friend anymore, bro. Because realistically, that is fucked up. That is fucked up. And there's no way you can justify that. Anyway, apart from that, I apologize for getting really stressed out. And I'm sorry for taking too long with this response. It took me a while to get this response out, considering that it's not easy to be dealing with this type of shit, and it takes time to make a good response, because I want to make sure that people listen to me very clearly without misunderstanding something. And yeah, again, this is going to be my last response, hopefully. Hopefully I don't have to make any more after this. Because I know that they're probably going to claim that I lied about something, or they're going to fake more evidence, or they're going to take shit out of context, or they're just going to do a lot of more bullshit or something. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised. But here's one thing. What you're doing is really messed up, okay? Like, Tomb Raider, I genuinely hope that you take the videos down and actually just take time to reflect on yourself, because what you're doing isn't right. You may be claiming that I should be the one getting off the internet, claiming that I should just, you know, go outside and do all this shit, lose weight. But you're the one that's consistently going to my channel, on my live streams, hating on me 24/7, making alt accounts on Roblox with disturbing and disgusting usernames just to join in my streams with them. You do a lot of bullshit. You harass my friends. You even tried to threaten one of my friends with their... I'm not even gonna say what it is, because realistically, I don't want to reveal who it is, but you were literally threatening them with their personal information. That isn't right. And I don't give a fuck if it was you or not, because realistically, I cannot know that. I can't believe anything you say, because all of the shit that you accuse me of was literally built on lies and fucking defamation. So to tell me, how can I exactly trust you if all you've done is spill some bullshit? You know what I mean? So again, it's completely fucking flawed that you're doing this shit. It's completely flawed that there are actual people supporting this. And it's also completely flawed that Excitable would take your side without even getting to hear mine. So anyway, I hope that this will be the last video, as I said again. But I'm pissed, man. I'm pissed. I'm not happy, bro. I really am not. But anyway, I'm probably gonna end the recording now. So thank you guys for watching. Also, I want to give a big thank you to all the people that have supported me, all the people that have joined my channel. You know, I appreciate all the people that got memberships and joined my channel. You guys are the goats. So here's their channels up on screen. Thank you so much for the support. Shout out to Hypnotic, shout out to Jenny, shout out to Marcus, and shout out to Julie. So anyway, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Yo guys, apparently more people are making up lies and spreading misinformation about OCD. I think it's quite funny, considering the fact that the people that are claiming shit about OCD don't even go through OCD themselves. They have no information about OCD whatsoever. They're just claiming as if they know when they don't know shit. So because of that, me and I Might Be Nothing are gonna be debunking all this shit. So let's go. So as you know, Villynoir apparently commented on the video, "This is insane, W Tomb Raider." So we're gonna be going to their replies, and right here This guy comments, wanted to add on about Leetowners' excuse for deleting his message. He usually likes to say that he's been doing this since the FPS situation, but why? During the FPS situation, Boovy was trying to expose Leet for being a... And although we knew it was all fake by Boovy, Leet for some reason started deleting everything and being very sketchy. Most likely, Leet realized, oh god, FPS just got exposed. I'm gonna be next. So he deletes all his messages so no one can use him in a scenario against him that could suggest he's like FPS. Now, before you guys say, yeah, but he deletes messages. Bro, okay, first of all, there's one thing that's really wrong with all of this, okay? If the evidence was clearly faked by Boovy, why the fuck would I be panicking in this situation? Like, that makes no sense. Okay, Boovy faked all his evidence on me. Wow, what a shocker. Why in the fuck would I be panicking if I know I'm innocent? That makes no fucking sense. Anyway,
yeah, at that point, that just
and then the next thing that Villy says, it's so funny because she has no idea about OCD whatsoever. 1000% spot on. He will use his OCD to excuse literally everything, even when it doesn't make any sense. Oh wow, even when it doesn't make any sense, as if OCD makes a lot of sense. Yeah, man, it makes total sense to be staring at the wall just to make sure you're not touching it, and it makes absolute sense just to flick the light switch 5 times in a row just so that the house doesn't burn down. Yeah, man, OCD totally makes sense, dude. Anyway, in order to make it more believable, he would delete all messages so it doesn't look suspicious. When I was talking to him as well, first of all, shut the he deleted all of his messages, but the only times he never asked me to delete my messages were when this topic was brought up. If he really did it because of OCD, shouldn't he have asked me to delete all of my messages no matter the topic? He just wants to cover his tracks and make it seem innocent. First of all, dude, listen, I know this is going to be very hard to explain to a person who doesn't have OCD and barely did any research, but OCD is different for everyone, okay? So, for example, right, a person with contamination OCD may feel like washing himself in the bathroom, in the shower for like 30 minutes, right? And he ends up drying his hand a certain way. Let's say he dries it, 3 times. And then you got another guy who washes a lot longer, but instead of drying, he just uses his shirt to dry off his hand because it feels right for him, right? This is the issue. It's because OCD is different for everybody. Even if you have the same subtype, it doesn't matter because everyone has different struggles when it comes to their OCD. Everyone's rituals are different. Whatever it feels right for them, it will feel right for them, okay? For some things, it may be including just yourself. For certain other things, it may include others. Now, the only reason I didn't ask you to fucking delete all of the messages no matter the topic is because I knew that for the other person, it would be very exhausting. I mean, just imagine, right? I just go over to you and I'm like, hey man, can you just delete this message, delete that message, delete... Like, you know how fucking, like... You know what I mean? You know how annoying that would be, especially not just for me, but for the other person as well. And I did not want to make you go through that hell, which is why I didn't. And again, for the love of God, stop talking like you know about OCD. You don't. You have no idea. You didn't even know what false memory OCD was. So why are you talking as if you know when you don't know? Shit. Even my mom's knocking on my door because she's pissed and I woke her up. Fuck.
Man, I'm trying to hold in my laughter because reading these comments is wild.
Anyway, what do you think about this?
Most of the stuff that they're saying, like, yeah, okay, it could come from, somebody, that knows, but at the same time, they clearly do not know what OCD is. There's a whole variety, like you said, there's a whole variety of OCD that's out there that is completely different compared to anyone's, because we're all different people. We deal with OCD in our own way. Yeah, this, like, reading all these comments where I can't stop laughing.
Bro, it's like,
it's so
think about it like this, right? It's like getting yourself vaccinated and then expecting that vaccination to work for everybody else. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Get sick.
You know,
It's common sense.
And the craziest part about all of this is that Villynoir commented W Tomb Raider on this video, even though all the evidence here is faked and taken out of context. How amazing is that? That's just amazing. I mean, that just goes to show that this person clearly does not give a fuck whether somebody is right or not. They're clearly targeting me because they hate my ass and they want me to get deplatformed for something that isn't even fucking true. And you know what's so depressing? Yeah. You know what's so depressing about all of this is this is the guy that Excitable supported. I mean, that's just funny. I can't lie. I'm smiling right now because this is actually pretty funny, dude. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically about it. Do you want to say something to these people before we end the recording? Yeah, honestly, pretty much. Just, bro, fucking.
There's nothing else to say, bro.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes I feel like not everybody is meant to have the internet. Like, sometimes I feel like not everybody's meant to have access to the internet.
No, some of these people should be put on a watch list.
On a watch list is crazy. Anyway, want to say something before I end or no?
No, I'm good.
Alright, well, oh yeah, make sure to go subscribe to I Might Be Nothing's channel. He's pretty cool. I'll put his channel picture. I'll put the picture of his channel right there. Go sub to him, and yeah, that's about it. Like, I don't have the full video anymore, but I'm sure it's, if anyone like downloaded it, they should be able to show it. But at the end, I literally said it can't exceed a 2-year age gap. Even Flix can confirm that, because I'm pretty sure he saw the video as well.
Yeah, I mean, Flix admitted you were being weird to Leo, so.
Can you attest that at the end of that video, like, he said that it cannot exceed a 2-year age gap?
Well, Flix is his best friend. He's not reliable. Like.
Well, dude, regardless of whether you choose to believe me or not, why would I? First of all, why would I incriminate myself? And dude, you're not thinking clearly. When I say that. I've been saying this for a long time. This is not the only time I said it. Every single time, bro. Everywhere, bro. Everywhere. I said it's okay to have a relationship as long as it doesn't exceed a 2-year age gap. And I said that in my second response as well on TikTok. No, that's not true, bro. That is so not true.
I remember this very well.
This guy, bro, this guy. First of all, the thing that was taken out of context, right, was by Tulip, and I'm pretty sure she can even contest to that, but I don't know. Like, bro, first of all, okay, for fuck's sake, nah, this dude, okay, listen, no offense, right, but you're dumb as shit, bro. You're actually dumb as shit. Do you know how old Leah is? Tell me how old do you think she is? Tell me.
I don't know. You tell me.
Bro, she's 17, turning 18.
Oh, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Sure.
So, like,
why the fuck
this is so dumb, bro. This is so dumb. Holy shit, bro.
Aren't you 20?
I'm not 20, bro. Someone made that lie up. First of all, how do you expect someone to say I'm 20 and then just randomly believe it as if they have evidence of me being 20? So, okay, so if I say right now Cormax is 30 years old, right? That means he's 30 years old, right? Because I said he's 30 years old. That's your logic right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, bro, this is not real. Okay, let's just keep going. I don't know, people are always judging me. I just want someone to talk to without being judged. Well, I'm here to need someone to speak with. Yo, guess what? Listen, if these screenshots are real, how about, since you have the screenshots, right, why don't you just get video evidence? Oh yeah. So let me get this straight. You can't record the video chat, like the messages, because you're out of storage. Bro, what do you mean I'm meant to prove it? You're the one that's meant to prove it with video evidence.
Oh my god.
Why did you show me?
I'm pretty sure that this guy has his whole entire storage filled up because he has pictures of you on all of his fucking folders, dude.
Yo, chat. I think I'm gonna delete my YouTube chat storage.
Listen, Russian hacker, I wouldn't have a problem with you if you just didn't say so much bullshit. Like, be honest with us, because we're right here. And you can make this situation less worse for you right now if you just admit to everything.
I think you're trying to hide something, don't you think?
How am I hiding something? Tell me, what am I hiding?
Why didn't you want to show the video?
I'm the one who made the accusation. I provide like barely any valid proof, but he's the one who's supposed to prove himself now. That's how it makes sense.
Yeah. That's basically his mindset, dude.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
like the one thing I can admit that I've done wrong that I shouldn't have said, especially if it was like unverified information, was the Villynoir situation. That's the only thing I'm gonna apologize for, and I've moved on from that.
You should be off the internet because of this.
Bro, you want me to get off the internet? You've been doing these false allegations for a long time.
Everyone else wants to off the internet, my friend. Not just me.
So let me get this straight. So you think it's cool to get people off the internet and spread false allegations about them? Is that right?
False allegations on you to make
it is false allegations. It is false allegations.
You're using your own CD to make people feel sorry.
You're not even like giving the bare minimum for evidence. Like you're not giving any video evidence. You don't have like any solid proof, any witnesses. There's no witnesses. There's no victims actually going and saying, this guy. There's literally nothing, bro. It's all just hearsay.
Sure.
You do know that, right? It's all just hearsay. You're asking me to disprove it when I told you for the third time. How am I meant to disprove something that isn't real?
What do you mean?
If these messages don't exist in my DM inbox, how do you expect me to disprove that? You're dumb as shit, bro.
Show me your DMs, all of your DMs, right now.
Effie, you realize that I am in a state where it's a one-party consent law where I can record this conversation because I consent to recording, and this video and this call is being recorded right now. So we can use this shit against you. Anything you say here will be used against you. And I want you to ask you another question. Why the fucking hell are you bringing me into this situation? Explain that right now.
I know, I heard people mentioning your name, that you were investigating the case.
So you're hearing people saying my name and all that shit, but you literally could not even consult me or anything to verify.
How about instead of saying what people are saying that apparently Cormax is investigating this, show us proof that people were saying that, because I don't believe you. I personally think you just made it up yourself.
Oh no, sure, you know.
Yeah, he is. Russian hackers here.
Okay, Russian hacker. Can you provide?
I just want to say, guys, you've all been fooled. You've all fell for my rage bait.
What?
This guy just said you all fell for my rage bait, is what he's saying.
There we go. Now we just fucking linked it all. We fucking broke him.
I'm sorry, though. I'm sorry.
This is being recorded, right? So I can just upload this to YouTube at any fucking point, and you'll be the one who's getting a fucking backlash, and not Leetowners.
That's why I'm deciding to take everything down and just going to troll you guys until you.
Nah, it's bro. The damage, dude. The damage is already done. Like. You've already done the damage. If you think this is funny to rage bait, then you're wrong, bro. Because this is like serious shit. Yeah, he did. He just took it down. He just took it down as well.
Too late.
Oh my god.
These guys are not real, bro. These guys are not real. I swear.
Can't go back. Can't go back.
At the end of the day, you're a potential threat to. So I think you should really just get off the internet.
I do what? I do. Wait, hold on. What do you say I do? Tell me.
You're a potential threat.
Okay, so tell me why I'm a potential threat to done something like have I like
rage bait and now you're changing it.
Well,
yeah.
Is he repeating it over and over again now? That's what it looks like.
Rage bait a second ago.
Well, I guess there we have it. So I'm gonna just leave this voice chat right now. But once again, I have this one sorry thing recorded. Russian hacker.
You guys
you for bringing me.
You guys recorded?
Thank you for bringing me into this situation. I hope you get a job. I don't want to. I was about to say something that would probably be really bad. Really bad. Can't say it because that'll make me look bad. But yeah, I'll get going. See you later.
You have a good one, Cormac. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Alright, sure. Well, that was fucking stupid.
That's the end of that. Leetowners is not being unbanned. He's staying banned. I've had enough of his nonsense. He's weird, and he's only gone and proven that. He's not gone and disproven it, and I can't put up with any more of it. I don't want to hear anything else about it. You're a weirdo. Okay. Like, that, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm not putting up with that. I've seen it all. I've seen it for myself, and I don't want to see anything else.
Hold on. I wanna ask Asiany something. Why do you think Leet445 is funny?
And I think it's funny.
So you think I'm a...
Did you admit to it? I'm just saying.
Nah, like, the thing is, like, yeah, sure, I said, oh, I did this and that, but does that mean I actually did it? Like...
It's a rage bait. But,
that means you did.
God.
You just admitted to it.
So if I say I killed someone, does that mean I killed someone?
Why would you admit to something like that?
Yeah, because OCD can change your perception of your mind and make you think that you've done things that you haven't.
You would admit to cops that you killed someone and then just blame it on OCD.
Oh my god, dude, you're misunderstanding the point. No, what I'm saying is OCD can make you believe irrational things, which can lead you to confessing to others about those irrational things that you think you've done, when in reality it could just be false. That's what OCD does.
I believe you want to record now, please, I'm begging.
No, because it's annoying, bro. I'm tired of this shit.
I know. We can go on DMs and we'll come back here to talk about it after.
What do you mean that's stupid? What do you mean that's stupid, bro? Just because you're not experiencing OCD doesn't mean you get to just, you know.
Guys, I'm not brainwashed. What do you mean you admitted to killing someone you didn't? And...
Oh my god, bro.
It's stupid, bro.
Yeah, Boba is right.
Okay.
I just admit to kill someone and say, oh no, I didn't know it actually. It was just my shit. You're gonna go up to a cop one day and say, oh, I killed someone, tell me, no, it was my OCD, I'm sorry, it's not going for like...
It is a real thing though, but you're just dismissing it as if
it's
not.
Yeah, but like, you used the worst example, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it has...
You could have said anything else.
It has happened...
I thought OCD was just like, being a clean person.
No.
And like, you hate when things aren't like...
OCD is more deeper than that. That's just you being misinformed. And secondly, right?
Arrogance on your head, mate.
It is...
I think it's in your head.
No, it's not in my head. I know what I'm talking about. It's just you're too ignorant to listen to me.
Nice. You just said the worst example I've ever heard.
It's not the worst example. It actually has happened firsthand before. There's been people that have literally thought they've killed people because of their OCD. Okay, bro. Whatever. All right, you're gonna. If you're gonna be this like. You know, I'm not even gonna talk to you, bro. You're just a waste of time at this point.
No, well, you should. Okay, can you at least finish what you're gonna say?
No, because I've already explained what I needed to explain. You're just not listening.
You're explaining that you said you were. That means you didn't. Okay, so you said to me, right? You admitted to being a. But that doesn't mean you actually did it when you the screenshots, right?
I never admitted to being a. Doing something, but that doesn't mean I've actually done that thing.
Can we please record, please?
What?
I'm begging.
What? Like, repeat what you said. Repeat what you said.
Matter. Just put all the YouTubers and that's
Please say that one more time. Say that what you just said one more time.
What do you mean? Say that one more time.
You said you didn't admit doing, but you admitted to doing something.
No. Oh my God. Holy fucking shit.
You just said that. You just said that.
No, you're
just said that.
What I'm saying is right. I said that I did something. Right? Because my mind tells me I did.
You said you didn't admit.
With the Villynoir situation, right? I said that I did something, but
you said you.
Bro, can you stop serving me?
Asiany, don't serve
I'm not doing. I'm in Arsenal, and Mickey.
Bro, nah, I'm actually getting tired of this shit, bro. You guys are fucking annoying. Because Asiany is just being a fucking asshole, dude.
We don't need
Oh, that's
you
not very
anyway.
nice. Oh, it's not very nice, is it?
It's
Yeah,
not.
that's not very nice.
Yeah, and it's not very nice to fucking call me a.
I'm not doing.
Yo,
I didn't call you a. I was joking, you fucking.
You said Leet 445. What do you think that means?
It's a joke.
It's
Can you
not.
take a joke?
It's not
What does
funny to me.
445 mean?
It's not funny for me. It's not funny for me
Funny
though.
to me. It's funny to people.
Well, no, it's not funny to me, bro.
Well, too bad.
If you
Womp
think,
womp,
if
cry
you
me a
think,
river.
if you think false allegations are funny, then you're sick in the head, dude.
And so are you, sick in the head.
How am I sick in the head?
He does.
No, I don't.
He's lying. His OCD made him forget Kova.
Bro, you're
What?
actu-
Well, okay, I'm not gonna answer that. That's rude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
OCD, bro.
You're actually so ignorant. It's actually sad. It's actually depressing.
I know.
No,
I
it's,
know,
it's my
I know.
OCD. It's my OCD, bro. It's my OCD. I'm sorry.
You want Milky League?
If you're gonna make fun of me, then I'm just gonna leave.
We're not making fun of you.
I'm done with this shit, bro. Anyway, that's the end of this video. One thing that I really want to say that is very important is please do your research when it comes to these things. I know that there's a lot of people that don't quite understand mental health and don't understand how the brain works, right? Considering that these people have never went through mental illnesses themselves, or at least not to my severity. And yeah, sure, there's some people with OCD who might have not experienced the things that I have experienced, but that's just how OCD works. OCD is different for everyone, and there have been some people that have experienced the same stuff that I have experienced, right? So regardless, I'm tired of all these other people saying I'm using OCD as a shield when in reality it's just something that I'm dealing with. Like, sure, I'll take accountability for the things that I've said in the Villynoir video, because I believe that the things I've said were quite bizarre and quite anxiety inducing, but considering that, you know, because of my OCD, it's very easy for me to convince myself of being a person I'm not, or doing something I didn't, you know, and stuff like that. It's very easy for OCD to put you into that loophole and to trick you. So the fact that there's some people out here saying like, oh, you're just using it as a shield, it's a stupid argument to make, because it's like, think of it like this, right? It's like let's say you have ADHD, right? And you're like trying to do, like, you're trying to work on a test, right? But you can't focus because of your ADHD. And then your teacher is like, why are you doing so bad in class? You cannot like get high grades on your tests anymore. What are you doing? And then, you know, he says he has ADHD, and because of his ADHD, he can't really focus. And then the teacher is like, you are using it as an excuse. You are just lazy. You are just using it as an excuse, and you're using it as a shield. You know what I mean? You know how stupid that sounds? Like, why can't people just not be dumb? Like, that's all I ask. Have common sense, okay? And for the people that don't have OCD or didn't even do much research about it, why in the fuck are you talking about it as if you know when you truly don't know? It's like a person, it's like asking a fucking to do high school math when they're not even in the first grade. Like, what's the point? How do you expect them to know the answers? They don't. It's stupid, okay? But anyway, all I ask is please leave me the fuck alone. Leave my friends alone, okay? Most importantly, okay? If you're gonna annoy me, at least don't annoy my friends, okay? Because I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of having to deal with this every single fucking day. Anyway, I hope I've made it very clear. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have any questions, or if you have something important to say, let me know in the comment section down below. And the reason why I didn't fucking talk to you, Tomb Raider, the reason why I instantly blocked you is because I knew you were a rage baiter. I knew you just troll. I know your intentions. I know you don't care about the truth and that all you're trying to do is harass me and get me off the internet. I knew this from the beginning because you literally came into my live chat on one of my alt accounts. Well, not alt accounts, but my other channel where I was live streaming. And you literally came to that stream, right? Like to my other channel, you came on stream just to fucking harass me with your alts, you know? That's how I knew you were a rage baiter, bro. That's why I didn't respond, because I knew that you were just, it would just be pointless. So the fact that you're acting like as if I'm guilty and I'm trying to hide something, when in reality, I'm just not trying to deal with your bullshit. But you know what? I hope after this video, I hope that you will learn your lesson. And I hope that people can stop being annoying in my DMs and my friends' DMs and my live chat and in my Roblox games and in my personal life. I hope that people can just like learn. You know what I mean? Just learn. Actually learn the truth. I mean, I presented all the evidence I could. There is not much more I can add to this video. Everything here is backed up by research. Everything. Even the evidence is shown. So if you ask me for anything else to prove, then I don't know what you want me to say, because I'm pretty sure I've went over every single allegation that this person has made. Also talking and discussing about the Villynoir situation, right? While also showing the research behind OCD and explaining my condition and how it could have led to that. And also explaining that the emission has several inconsistencies inside that a lot of people did not notice. But because they focus on what I've said specifically, while looking too much into it, this has led to people absolutely assuming the worst of me. And look, I understand, right? Some of it is my fault. I shouldn't have confessed unverified information to people that I barely trusted. Okay? That's on me. That's my bad, and I'll take accountability for that. I'm sorry for any panic and stress and anxiety I've caused for other people. I know what it's like to be friends with someone who turns out to be a horrible person, and I truly am sorry that I've made other people believe that I actually was that type of person. It wasn't in my intention. I was just going through a lot of bad anxiety at the time with POCD, and I was experiencing the worst time of my life. Moving forward, I'm doing a lot better now. I've been, you know, I've highered the dose of my medication. I try not to pay too much attention to the trolls and the haters and stuff like that, but the only reason I've been paying attention now is because I felt that I need to make a video addressing everything, because I haven't really got to that. And I also didn't want to, because it's like, it's just like a part of my personal private life. You know what I mean? It's like my mental illness. I don't feel comfortable talking about it because I'm truly ashamed. You know, every single day I feel ashamed of myself because I believe I'm someone that I'm not, right? Or maybe I am that type of person and I just don't know. But again, that's just your OCD playing tricks on you, and I've learned to recognize that. I still feel ashamed from it, but at least, you know, I've been getting better, and I hope that in the future I can continue to do so. But regardless, I know that this video was very uncomfortable to talk about, but I've had to do it. I've been thinking about it for a really long time, and I finally got to it. So I hope that you guys can understand this video. And please, in your own time, if you can, do some research. I think it's very important for people to not get misinformed, especially about OCD. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya.
Well, it's been about a week, and I was gonna get ready to release this video, but some more stuff came up, especially involving even more allegations. How I apparently used ChatGPT as a reliable source, and how they basically, oh god, I can't even think about it. I'll just get into it really fast. So pretty much they use ChatGPT themselves and put the full context of those screenshots, and ChatGPT themselves said that this wasn't false memory OCD related. However, a big issue with using ChatGPT is that it's not really a reliable source. And I know that for most of the evidence that I've used, I use ChatGPT. When I say that it isn't reliable, I'm saying that sometimes there can be times where it says incorrect information, or not incorrect information, but sometimes it even analyzes situations incorrectly. And to basically put this into perspective, there's 3 different reasons that they gave out of why this isn't false memory OCD. The thing that's confusing about this is that the reasons that it gave as to why it isn't false memory OCD, this can literally all happen with false memory OCD itself. You can say you've done things multiple times even though you haven't, and you can believe you've done it even though you haven't by expressing full certainty believing that you did do it. And keep in mind, this isn't even about like, oh, is ChatGPT right or wrong, because it's basic knowledge at this point. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Leetowners, how do we know exactly if all the information you showed about OCD is correct if it's from ChatGPT? Well, you don't really need ChatGPT for it, because there's literal medical sources out there on the internet explaining what OCD really is. I mean, there's been multiple cases and multiple stories. Sure, they may not be the exact same as mine, but that's obviously to be expected because everybody goes through OCD differently, so you can't expect someone to have the same exact story. Obviously, there's going to be some differences, but the similarities are still there. The anxiety, the shame, and keep in mind, okay, the fact that they're still using this as evidence that I'm this type of person is just stupid, because if you look at the confession yourself, there are so many key elements that are wrong with it, which I'm going to show in a bit. And I'm just gonna say this right now. Sure, this may break my this voice was not, this voice was AI and stuff like that. That might, yeah, that's the only argument I can see crumbling. But you got to keep in mind, they never showed the context of the audio clip itself, so it could easily be taken out of context for all I know. And another thing that's also really important to address here is that they're using ChatGPT as their main source. However, after some further communication with ChatGPT, they themselves told me that they're not really that reliable when it comes to this stuff. And another thing that they also told me was that they originally misjudged the situation. The reason why they misjudged the situation is because of the unusual language. They were focusing too much on the important parts of what I said rather than looking at the actual key differences, like the uncertainty, the me not being able to recall certain details, the shame, the anxiety. And another thing that they're also talking about is I was scared to tell this to a therapist because of the consequences I'd receive. That in itself is not true, because there's been many OCD patients who have been scared to tell their therapist about their thoughts, about their issues, about their problems, about their anxiety, because they're afraid that if they go to the therapist, they have a fear of being misunderstood. They have a fear of feeling like, oh, what if it really turns out that I am a bad person? They're not having fear of consequences. They're having fear of their fears actually becoming true. And that is the actual difference. But they're saying that, oh, yeah, I'm only having anxiety because of consequences. That's not true whatsoever. And keep in mind, I've been very open about this. But, again, this is just me surviving at this point, because after, talking about these allegations and stuff like that for the past week, my OCD started getting worse. I started getting more thoughts thinking, oh gosh, what if it turns out to be true? What if they're correct? What if I really am this type of person? What if this really does happen? Maybe I'm maybe I am that type of person. But that's exactly what OCD does. And the fact that I'm even talking more about this and it's even triggering my anxiety more, it should show something, okay? It should show a sign that I'm definitely not okay. That doesn't mean I'm dangerous. That doesn't mean I have terrible or sick-filled desires. It just means I'm mentally sick. I'm mentally ill. I believe that I am this type of person when I really am not. And that's the hardest part, is that I'm supposed to be, I've been trying to better this anxiety, but because the more people keep talking about it, the more I'm invested in this stuff, the more it fucks up my brain. At this point, it doesn't even matter whether the situation with Villynoir happened or not. That really does not matter at that point, because you can already see clear signs where I'm truly affected by this topic. You can clearly see I'm traumatized. You can clearly see I'm stressed out about this. You can clearly see that I feel terrible and ashamed about this. That should show you enough that I really am not this type of person, okay? And I know some people can make stuff saying like, oh, I mean, everyone's different. There could be some type of people that are like that have the same emotions as you and whatever. But the difference is they don't do compulsions. They do not do compulsions. And I'm pretty sure they don't, at the very least, I'm very certain they don't do compulsions. Because compulsions is an OCD thing, right? And I've been doing those, like a lot. I've been ruminating. I've been mental reviewing. I've been thinking back to the past, thinking whether I've done something bad or not. I mean, I think those should be clear OCD signs. And the fact that they're saying I need to get a new diagnosis because I developed a different theme. I don't need a new diagnosis. Now, I know ChatGPT says that I do, but I asked ChatGPT myself and it gave me a completely different answer. Don't know exactly why, but fucking at that point, like, ChatGPT is really not that reliable. But anyway, yeah, so they're saying that I need to get a new diagnosis because I developed a new theme, but this isn't true. I don't need a new diagnosis. As long as my obsessions and my compulsions and the behaviors of OCD are still there, I really don't need a new diagnosis, because OCD in general, right, it's a condition based around a lot of sub-themes with it, right? Like subtypes and themes. Okay, just because you have a different theme doesn't mean you have a different condition. It's the same condition, it's just revolving around another topic. So contamination OCD, it's revolving around the being clean topic, I guess you could say, or making sure that you're not unclean. And then another part could be like, I don't know, fucking, let's just say relationship OCD, where you're having the fear of, I don't know, maybe like, oh, what if I cheat on my partner, or what if I, yada yada, shit like that. And it's about relationships. Just because you have a different theme does not mean you have a different condition. It's the same condition, it's just a different theme. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. And it certainly does not mean that you need to get a new diagnosis. Sure, it'd be great to go to the therapist and tell them about them, so they could find a way for you to, eventually get better with that anxiety. But that takes time, especially in Germany, bro. I've been looking around for an OCD specialist for how long now? And all the, therapies I've tried, most of them are just like having long waiting times and shit like that. And I would have to get on a list, like a waiting list, and that shit takes so long, because how many people have like, mental issues, traumas around the world. How many people have that type of shit? So obviously it would make sense to why this would take so long. And I don't know why people are having high expectations for this. I realistically don't. Next thing they talk about is me apparently following another Instagram account when I was, removing those accounts from my followers list, because I generally just did not want to follow those accounts anymore. Not because I was trying to hide something, because for me, I personally believe that I was just doing the responsible thing. But one of those accounts ended up apparently being, characters that are actually I'll get into that more specifically. So this account, it's basically just anime AI digital art. And when they first showed me this account, when I looked at the characters, I believed that they weren't like, you know, I believe that they were adults originally, considering like especially how they were drawn and stuff like that. Like the way they were drawn, it just did not seem like you know, they would be that or whatever. And eventually they tell me that they are actually, and I was like so confused because one, they don't even mention it in their bio or the videos for when they're drawing these characters. They only included the character name in there. And sure, yeah, maybe I could have researched about the character, but the fact is, it's like, I never looked at that account. So I think it'd be very impossible for me to research about an account that I myself have never interacted with, especially not even looking at the videos and shit. And although it's not still like, you know, content, so yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, again, that's not like I was trying to do it intentional. It's not like I was seeking out this content whatsoever. I tend to just follow a bunch of random Instagram accounts, and after I found out about this, obviously I was pretty shocked because like I realistically didn't even think this type of content could even exist. But you know, and they're also saying that because I unfollowed my accounts, that makes me look suspicious. But the thing is, there's really no argument to win around that, because it's like, if I still follow the accounts, it just looks like I'm supporting it when I'm not. And then if I unfollow the accounts, they're just gonna say I'm hiding something. So realistically, there was really no way to win with these fuckers. But apart from that, just so you know, okay, I generally did not know like this account, you know, had this type of content, did not know their shit like that. It would have been really hard to know, especially since they don't mention the whatsoever, just the characters' names in the descriptions, and the art itself looks to be adult based. Okay, so that's why I think it's very easy to confuse it with, you know, and they also had the number 18 in their username. Like they had the number 18 in their username with art. So I thought like, hey, maybe this is just 18 art, you know. But again, this doesn't really matter because I never really went on this account. I never looked at any of the pictures, never looked at anything. The only time I find it out is when they bring it to my attention. Like if they bring it to my attention, that's when I first learned about this. So yeah, I think it's generally stupid to make a assumption that if you follow an account, it means that you look at their content, or that you apparently, you know, it's just so unhinged, if I'm gonna be honest. And the issue with this, right, is that they're comparing me to BonkieDoge. The issue with this comparison, right, is not the fact that he followed these type of accounts, but he followed multiple. Now I'm gonna tell you exactly why I think it's very stupid to compare me to BonkieDoge. First of all, he followed multiple accounts. Second reason is he clearly had the intent to do something with these accounts, whether it was for him or for someone else. He clearly had an intent. The reason we know this is because all the accounts that he followed clearly stated the age in the bio of the characters they were drawing, and even in the video descriptions, which would have been impossible to miss. It would have been impossible to miss. Keep that in mind. And it's not just one account, it's multiple. But that's not even the worst part. In one of the evidences they show him actually having a image saved on his computer which contains some of that content. So that even is more evidence that he engages with this stuff. Meanwhile, the only evidence that these people have on me engaging with this account whatsoever was just a simple follow button. So you see how this can be a huge problem, especially if they claim, hey, if you follow an account, that means you completely engage with everything they do. But that's just not true. That's just a dumb thing to say. Now, I admit that it was my responsibility and I should have looked into the accounts more, okay? So that's something I will apologize for. That is something I'll take responsibility for. But the fact that I don't appreciate is the fact that these people are twisting it as if I had the intent to seek out this content on purpose. That is what truly annoys me, you know? It's the fact that they're finding ways to twist stuff when in reality it was just an honest mistake. And again, they're claiming that I've, when that's not true, and their only evidence is just me following the account, which in itself should not be evidence. But anyway, apart from that, yeah, I'm sorry if this video is really long. I know that not everyone is probably gonna watch this video, considering that it is like pretty long. But if you guys could, at the very least, you know, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, because oh bro, I don't even know anymore. All right, let's get to the next part. They are now starting to talk about the FPS situation, specifically on how I apparently made a bunch of community posts talking about FPS and shit like that. But here's the issue with that statement, okay? Is, yeah, sure, I did get myself involved a lot with the FPS situation, especially exposing them and making a lot of posts trying to make awareness about it, but I never really made like a video or some shit. And that's because back then I was in like Turkey and shit, and I couldn't really make a full ass, like, you know, actual video and shit like that. So that's why I just made a lot of community posts talking about it, and I know it wasn't the greatest thing to do. I mean, yeah, I do think that I shouldn't have made as many community posts talking about him, but you know, at the same time, like, I took my accountability and, you know, delete some of the posts, especially, so that way there's like way less of them. But I do think I did the right thing regardless, especially keeping a bad person out of the community. I'd take that as a W. But what you're doing on the other hand is something completely different. You're, instead of taking accountability or admitting that you're in the wrong, you're just saying that I did this in the past, so that means it's okay for you to do this. Like, it's just so fucked. And secondly, you're not keeping a bad person out of this community. In fact, you're spreading lies about an innocent person. So that's even worse if you think about it. Another thing that I also find quite funny is they keep talking about how they're not using alt accounts, but when you look at, like, you know, this right here, you can clearly see as soon as MC uploaded the video, right, as soon as MC uploaded his video on recording with me and shit like that, the guy literally made a community post not even 10 minutes after the first few alts started coming into that video to, you know, drop some hate. So they started dropping these comments, and then this is when that community post came out. It's just so funny because these guys keep saying that I'm chronically online, but then they proceed to just come on, dude. You know what you're saying is not true. You know what you're saying is bullshit. And it's funny because you say I have no evidence, but what the fuck is your evidence? Because most of your evidence that you fucking presented has already been debunked by me in this video. And the ones that aren't are like the ones that are impossible to debunk, I gave a thorough explanation through it. So tell me, what type of fucking evidence do you have now? Because as far as I'm aware, you have absolutely no evidence that I've done any of these things, nor that I am this type of person. But you're still proceeding to go on with it, acting like as if I didn't just debunk, you know, your fucking most damning evidence, which are the allegations. So it's just really fucked how you're still trying to proceed with this, even after knowing that most of your evidence is false. And another thing that's also really sad is even after me confronting you about this, you still proceeded to keep those videos up. You deleted the first video, but you didn't delete the second one, where you spread serious false lies. And then in the most recent video, you even spread another lie again, which is talking about the Lexi situation. You know, it's just sad because you claim to be like, oh, I'll take down the videos, you know, I'll take it down once you make a response. Why wait till my response? Why not do it now? It's obvious that there's a few people that are actually believing all of this, yet you still make no effort to take them down, and you just say, hey, nah, man, I'm gonna take them down once you make that video. You know what that is? That's defamation, bro. Like, what you're doing is pretty much defamation. You're not taking down a video when you're supposed to, and you're literally just defaming me at this point. You're also harassing me, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it's just depressing in my opinion. But anyway, I didn't really want to add more to this video, but I thought I'd talk about this because I think it's pretty silly, especially since they always claim they're not attention seeking, or that they're not chronically online, or that they don't use alt accounts, even though, you know, this proof here says otherwise. So I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Firstly, he once mentioned in his Discord bio his Snapchat username. He changed his bio so not many people could find out about this. However, we were able to get the screenshot of his bio before changing it. If you search up this username on Snapchat, you can see that this is the
Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating.